Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Musiak. Today I want to share something with you that I had like this kind of like aha, eye-opening moment a while back. And it was the fact that I was so focused on healing my body that I forgot about living. Like I was so focused on healing my Candida or like what I'm eating, and I was just so focused on the Candida overgrowth in my gut that I forgot to enjoy life, which is a really great way to help heal. When we're having fun and we're going with the flow and we're just having a good time, it is so much easier for our bodies to heal because then I'm not stressed out. So I was actually I was so focused on my problem, right? So focused on taking care of it that I just forgot to live. Like I was like, whoa, like where did the time go? Like sure, I had fun with my kids and we hung out a little bit here and there, but with the fatigue and different things, like I wasn't. And I was also so focused on what I couldn't eat, and that made me miserable too because then I focused on what I couldn't eat, and it was just really not fun. And I just realized that that's not a way I want to live my life. So the thing is, we can focus on taking care of our body, taking care of our mind, and, and our soul, like just taking care of the whole package. But that doesn't mean that we have to make it the whole thing, that we can, take time to enjoy life, to enjoy fun. I was like, oh man, guys, like we haven't gone and had like a fun beach day in so long. Like I was overly consuming, like I was super consumed by taking care of myself. And there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. I want to be clear on that. It was the fact that I missed a really key component about enjoying life and taking care of me through the process. So if you've, kind of got a little lost on your journey, you're not alone. I know I got super lost. In fact, in June, I literally took time to I did a lot of tapping. I went through a course to help with things and I think that's probably where it came from is like I really slowed down and started seeing things differently. Because the more you focus on something, the more it grows. So I was just focusing all my energy, all my everything on healing, that I lost sight of all the other things that were beautiful and are beautiful in my life. And that really prevented me from really enjoying life. And then, I could have beat myself up. And I'm sure I had like a moment where I'm like, oh man, Jody, like, what did you do? The thing is, I know I can't go back in time. There is no time machine. So it was making peace with that. It was really accepting what was and what I could do different now. And really going like, whoa, I messed up a little or a lot, and I got too focused on something. How do I change and pivot? Because if I beat myself up and, just had a pity party, and maybe it's okay to have pity parties or like having moments of feeling it. You can totally do that. But if I live there for too long, then I'm now robbing myself of more beautiful moments with my children and husband and myself. So it's about being gentle and loving through the process, like with yourself through the process and learning from it. So instead of me seeing it as like, oh, I got carried away here, that was a big failure. It's about like, whoa, okay, that happened. How can I change that? And I hope that helps and I hope that makes sense, that we can get lost on our journey. So this could be going for a career or all hands on deck getting through school. Like, how do you get through a course? Or for me, it's like I'm writing a book and it's like I could let that consume me too. But it's finding a balance between doing something amazing that you want to do, or in my case, it was healing my body, and also balancing it with having fun, being in the moment, enjoying life as best I could and can, right? So maybe long, long walks weren't in the cards because of my fatigue, but I could find other ways to have fun and laugh with my kids. Laughter is the best medicine after all, right? So it's about balance, really, and not letting something fully consume you. And that can be like, again, anything. Now, I could also have gone really crazy the other way. I always find there's, you go one way really far, and then other times when you try to go course correct, you can swing the other way too far. So I could have went really crazy and be like, screw you, Candida, and like just completely go off the other end. And I guess in the summer I did a little bit, but I was still very mindful of what I was eating. And I was even doing my yoga practice still and really trying to balance my summer with my kids. And at the same time, being mindful of my body and taking care of it as well. But we can, as humans, I find a lot of the time if we're way over one way and we're like, whoa, we kind of swing and then we miss the middle mark and we go, woo, the other way. And it's just trying to be mindful. It really comes down to being mindful because I went, oh my goodness, way too long. Probably, way too long. I think once I came back from my yoga teacher training course, I was exhausted between stress, learning so much and doing so much and traveling every weekend to get there and just a lot. I barely could get out of bed for the first week. And then after that was trying to pick up the pieces of my life. And then I was healing again because as much as we were fed really, really good food, there's a lot of food on the Candida diet that there's a lot of food that feeds Candida. Anyways, so I had to heal. So I think right in that moment I was already, so probably from end of February, so beginning of March, or after I got out of bed after March. So, my sister visited too though. So probably at the end of March to about end of June, I was really in this world of healing. And it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but when you have 2 kids that are in school age, a lot can happen in those months. Now, it's not that I lived in the house and didn't do anything at all or things like that, but I was literally focused, a good percentage of my focus was on healing. And then I was like, whoa, what happened to having fun and just enjoying life too? Life doesn't have to be all or nothing. But sometimes we kind of can forget, including myself. So this is just a gentle, loving reminder that, you can get lost in something in your life. It can get all consuming, all things consuming to kind of venture one way. And maybe it is something like my yoga teacher training where it is all hands on deck for a whole month or 6 months. But sometimes in life, it can just be, for me, healing something. And I just got really lost in that world. And I forgot to live in the moment. So I was so focused on the future. Really, that's what's happening, right? When you're healing something or when you're taking a course or you're working on something that is has a future date. It's this is due then, or I want to finish it then. That's the future. We're looking into the future. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a huge planner. I love planning. And I'm a huge believer in personal growth and learning. And I'm a lifelong learner. So I love learning. The thing is, when we're doing all those different things, we can be so focused on the future. For me, I was healing and I was just focused on what I wanted to feel like. Actually, sometimes I even forgot that. I was so focused, I wanted to focus on how I'm feeling after. But being in the middle of it, it was hard to see. But I'm thinking from a future perspective though, right? It's I want to heal this thing so I can feel better in the future. I hope that makes sense because I was coming long way around there. So we can get so focused on something that's in the future that we miss out in this present moment. This very, very moment right here. And you're showing up today to listen to this episode, so thank you. You're obviously taking some time to pause and reflect, or maybe listening to something while you're doing something else. And it's just a loving reminder today to just drop into this moment, this one right here. To pause, to reflect, to celebrate, to celebrate like your wins and your failures and everything in between. To celebrate the fact that you are taking time for you and listening to this episode. Take just a little bit of time to pause and reflect and be in this moment. And try to have a little fun with it. Thank you so much for being here. This one was a short one. I like to throw in a couple short ones here and there in case life is busy and you only have 10, 15 minutes. Some of mine lately have been like almost a half hour. So this one I wanted to keep short just for you because I know sometimes we just need to squeeze in a little bit of something to make a big difference in our life. Because all it takes is, 5-10 minutes of uplifting something, a song, podcast, something motivational or inspiring. So thank you again for being here. I very much appreciate you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now. Hello, it's Jody again. I'm just back quickly for a quick announcement. I have decided to do an Ask Me Anything podcast episode. So come join the conversation on loving me, myself, and life. Now, it's not going to be live. However, I am going to gather questions ahead of time and answer them for you. So if you have a question about self-love, personal growth, or just life in general, or maybe even have a personal question for me, this is your chance to deep dive into topics that matter to you. Seek advice or explore challenges that resonate with your personal experiences. So get something really, something right directed to you. I'm not going to share full names or locations or anything. I'm going to keep it all, so no one knows who you are, but you'll know who you are. And over the next month or so starting October 13th till November 30th, I will be gathering questions. Now, if you find this after November 30th, that's okay. Please send me your questions anyways, because if I get too many, I'll have to do this again. Not have to, but I want to. So send me your questions if you're like, oh man, I wish Jody would talk about this, or I wish I could hear about this. Please send me your questions because I want to do something for you. So please send me your questions today and let's explore the beauty of loving yourself and living authentically and creating a life you truly desire. So you just can go onto my website, jodymisiak.com, and go under contact and just fill out the form with your question. There'll be a link also with this description of this podcast episode. So please send away. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye for now.